This is the walk around video for the Defender 90 300 TDI. It underwent a complete mechanical restoration, starting with the cooling system. Completely flushed, replaced the radiator with a new one. All hoses were replaced with new ones, auxiliary hoses, upper and lower radiator hoses, as well as a new coolant reservoir replaced with a new one. The heater hoses were replaced new, as well as the heater block flushed. Moving on to the emissions, the valve cover seal was replaced with a new one, and the valves were adjusted as well. The hose for the gases was replaced new, as well as the pre-pump for the fuel filter, replaced with a new one. Moving on to the brake system, the brake depressor was replaced with a new one, as well as the brake servo replaced with a new part. All the pads were replaced new as well. Moving on to the emission system, the air filter also replaced new. As well as the fuel filter, new replacement. Timing belt was changed, as well as the exterior serpentine belt. Fan clutch is in good shape. Moving underneath, the pit arm ball joint was replaced new, as well as the steering ball joint. The steering box was repaired, overhauled, all new parts and seals inside. No longer leaking, which is a major source of leaks on Defenders. New oil filter. The fluid for the differentials, front and rear, was changed. The gearbox was opened up and completely overhauled with brand new rings and gears and parts. Completely overhauled, cleaned, refitted. There was a problem going from fifth to fourth, which is a common problem in the R380s transmissions, as well as new fluid. The shocks in the front and the rear also replaced with new. The center ball joint was repaired. The transfer case has a new seal, as well as a new clutch. The clutch was replaced new. Underneath, everything is original to the car. The transmission, the repaired gearbox, the motor, the mufflers, axles. This car was very well preserved by the original owner. Moving on to some of the cosmetics. The front bumper was repaired and repainted in a matte black that is original to the vehicle. The light covers and the grille were also repainted in the same matte black. The directional turn signals were replaced. The side air vents painted, as well as the side view mirrors. The wheel arches were refinished and painted. And those are the original wheels for the 300 TDI for the early series. Repainted as well. And they wear the Land Rover caps original to the vehicle. Very hard to find in a classic Defender. It has new mud flaps in the rear. The rear crossmember was painted. And a new rear wheel mount was fitted, new brake signals, lens covers, as well as turn directional signals. All the plastic light covers were replaced. The rear mounted wheel tends to damage the rear door in the Defenders, so having the extra weight carried by the wheel mount helps preserve the door. Inside, the door was cracked, was welded, repaired prior to mounting the rear wheel mount. Inside, the rear cabin was repainted to cover for scratches and previous use. Has a new floor mat. The rear seats, the upper portions were reupholstered. The bottom portions are original, in good condition. There's no oxidation anywhere inside the cabin. The headliner was reupholstered, and that's easy to tell quality restoration from a floppy headliner to one that fits tight. The rear seals on the door were replaced, the upper and the lower. And the rear door card was also reupholstered. All the plastic covering the motors and the bits on the rear door are all original to the vehicle. The handle was repainted as well in the matte black. The rear step was repaired. Tends to get overused over time, as well as the rubber cover. The rear bumperettes were replaced with new parts. Again, the lens cover is all new in the rear. The sliding rear windows were adjusted to take away any vibrations or noise coming from that area. Well cleaned and adjusted. I wasn't happy with the door hinges, the color that came out, so I had those repainted. You can see those in the photo gallery. Any wear to the front was retouched. It has a new windshield as well as window seal. In the front, the wiper blades were replaced. The dashboard, the upper dashboard was reupholstered with synthetic leather. The center console was also reupholstered in synthetic leather. It has a new gear shift knob, not because it was damaged, other than the thread was worn. Very common in Defenders. It has the original steering wheel. The front door locking mechanism on the driver's side was repaired, as well as a crack that was found on the interior of the door, possibly from just use over time. Everything's working properly. The window goes up and down smoothly. It's a crank window. Door locks securely, shuts easily. Showing the original finish of the car. The paint is original. It just had some areas that were retouched. All the seals are good. The rubber seals around the car are in excellent condition. The hood mat's in good condition. Another sign of a well-maintained car, having the original hood mat. The original paint was deep cleaned and polished to give a nice shine. It's in good condition overall. I did discover some oxidation on the driver's side footwell, which I had repaired at a later date prior to the auction. Photos are in the gallery. Minor oxidation, surface rust. Came out really nice. And I also found a little bit of oxidation under the battery bank on the under the driver's seat. Had the oxidation repaired, treated, and repainted in a matte black to match the opposite side of the fuel tank. Those hinges were repainted, color corrected, and new stainless steel screws were fitted for the door hinges. Showing the rear flashing here. There's no structural damage. It was just previous owner, as he got up in age, had trouble parking and dinged it a couple times in the garage. This vehicle is garaged for the lifetime of the vehicle.